experience him. We've had this strange, wonderful, glorious, weird thing that's been happening at Bethel, and I'll never forget it. And I talk about it a lot just because I never thought that I would physically see the glory of God manifest in a room. Like, of all the things, I've dreamed about or had an expectation for, I don't know why. I don't know why I've never expected God to actually physically show up in a room before, but I just never have. It's never, it's always been about, we can do songs better, or, whatever. But I remember we were playing a worship set. I think I was playing with John Paul, and we were playing a bad set. How many people have ever led worship here? Anybody? Nobody. You can just use your imaginations. When you're playing a good worship set, it's a bit like heaven come to earth. When you're playing a bad worship session, it's the total opposite. Yeah, it's like pulling teeth or something. I don't know, but it wasn't a happy time, and I was really hoping that someone would just come up and close the service, and so I could, just be done, because I was tired and cranky. But I remember throwing up a half-hearted prayer to the Lord. It wasn't this faith-filled exhortation declaration kind of a thing. It was just like, I was like, we wait for you to come and show your glory here today. And I sang it like 3 times, and then I just kind of gave up, after that. And we were going to move on to another song. And right before we did, this glory cloud began to swirl up in the ceiling. And we only knew how to recognize it because people would kind of scream and shout, when it would happen, and they would get out their iPads and their iPhones, and they would try and take pictures of it, But a lot of times when it happened, the whole service had stopped and just kind of watched it, and but this time we didn't stop. We just kept worshiping. But the second that began to happen, it was like electricity just shot through the room, and all of a sudden, everything shifted. Everything changed. All of a sudden, worship wasn't hard anymore. All of a sudden, it was like, what's going on? And no one was paying attention to us. Like, we weren't the center of attention. The band wasn't the center of attention anymore. Every eye was lifted towards heaven. And we began to worship, and hands were raised. And I led a song that I've never led before up until that moment, and it's now quite well known. It's a song called Our Father. But I'd never led the song up until that point. But I felt it so strongly, and as we began to sing it, and yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, and yours is the glory forever or more, it just began to intensify and increase to the point where I could finally see it, because normally you had to see it in the lights, but it just began to materialize and kind of swirl on the stage, and it is the most beautiful thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I am like, Lord, please let that just be a taste. And I think, guys, it's just a taste of what he wants to do. Like, why should the Bible and the Old Testament have all the stories of his manifest presence and his manifest glory, Like, I just think he's waiting for a people to rise up, to hunger, to press in, to pursue, to give him space to be God.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your kingdom come swiftly, all will be done the same. Earth as it is in heaven, let heaven come to earth as it is in heaven, let heaven come. Let heaven go. Let heaven come. Let heaven come. Oh, let heaven come. Let heaven come. Let heaven come. Let heaven Father, yours is the kingdom and yours is the power, yours is the glory forever on. And we sing out, yours is the kingdom and yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Sing out, yours.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. He is full of wonder. He is full of wonder. He's restoring the wonder, restoring the awe. Those of you that are part of Bethel know that I hardly ever try to give a meaning to something that's happening. I just would rather we enjoy it, not try to get all complicated. But I will mention this. About 15 years ago, we started having some unusual things happen. Specifically, we'd have feathers just appear. They would float down in the room. We've had some tonight, but it's just happened for years. It started happening in our homes, started happening in places of business. They would just come out of nowhere. And at first I thought we had birds nesting in our air conditioning ducts. I did, and we're gonna have our crew clean them out. And then it happened in a different part of the building. And then it happened at my house. And then it happened in a restaurant. And it happened on the airplane. And after a while you start to realize, this could be one of those signs that make you wonder. And I honestly have felt all along, although we don't ever talk about it, I felt all along that what's happening is His world is breaking into ours. And it amazes me. I don't know what to say about this. It's wonderful. But I just want you to notice the real cloudburst came when he started singing, Our Father. Wow. Let heaven come. Let your world permeate this one, God. We just join our hearts with your cry and we just say, Kingdom of God, come. Will of God be done. That's what we give ourselves to. We just give ourselves to that cry. It's the cry of God. It's becoming the cry of His people.